You emerge into the world with a wet splat onto ice, so cold it makes your mother's personality seem warm by comparison. Welcome to Hoth, the galaxy's frozen armpit, where the temperature's always below "are you kidding me?" and the wind sounds like a broken hyperdrive. Your first breath fills your tiny lungs with air so frigid it crystallizes on the way down. Mom gives you exactly 3 seconds of attention before wandering off to find something to eat that isn't you. Yet, right off the bat, you're covered in white fur that'll eventually grow thick enough to insulate a starfighter. But right now, you look more like a moldy snowball someone forgot in the back of a freezer. Your claws are tiny nubs, your fangs haven't grown in, and your terrifying roar sounds suspiciously like a tauntaun with hiccups. Those first few weeks are brutal. You're stumbling around ice caves, trying to figure out which frozen rocks are edible and which ones will break your baby teeth. Spoiler alert. None of them are edible, but you'll try anyway because what else is there to do on this frozen wasteland? Your diet consists mainly of whatever scraps Mom brings back, assuming she remembers you exist. Most days, she doesn't. By month 3, you've learned the basics of cave navigation, which mostly involves not impaling yourself on icicles and avoiding the deeper tunnels where things go bump in the permanent night. Your fur's getting thicker, your claws sharper, and you've discovered that those squeaky things running around outside taste way better than ice formations. Tauntauns, they're called, though to you they're just lunch with horns. Your hunting education begins with Mom demonstrating the fine art of bash and grab. Watch closely as she emerges from a snowbank like a furry avalanche, swipes something that was minding its own business, and drags it back to the cave. Simple, effective, 0 style points needed. You practice on smaller prey first, which on Hoth means, well, actually there isn't much smaller prey. You mostly practice on ice chunks and pretend they're fighting back. 6 months in and you're starting to get the hang of this whole apex predator thing. Your first solo hunt goes about as well as expected. You spot a young tauntaun separated from its herd, perfect target. You creep forward, channeling all that natural stealth your species is famous for. 1 step, 2 steps, and whoops, there goes your foot through some thin ice. The tauntaun bolts, you're stuck up to your knee in a frozen pond, and somewhere in the distance you swear you can hear Mom laughing. Or maybe that's just the wind, hard to tell on Hoth. But you keep trying because the alternative is starving, and eventually muscle memory kicks in. You learn to read the ice, judge distances, time your strikes. That moment when you finally bring down your first tauntaun solo? Pure magic. Sure, it was old and probably half-blind, but a win's a win. Year 2 rolls around and puberty hits you like a meteor. Your voice drops 3 octaves overnight, going from squeaky growl to bone-rattling roar. Your adult fangs push through, sharp enough to puncture starship hull plating. Not that you'll find any of those lying around. You're bulking up fast, packing on muscle and fat reserves, because on Hoth, you're either well-insulated or you're an ice sculpture. Territory becomes important now. You need your own cave system, preferably one with good acoustics for your roars and plenty of storage space for frozen dinners. The problem? Every decent cave's already occupied by another Wampa who's bigger, meaner, and extremely not interested in sharing. Cave shopping on Hoth makes apartment hunting on Coruscant look friendly. Your first territory fight is educational, by which I mean you get educated on exactly how much it hurts when a full-grown Wampa introduces your face to a cave wall, repeatedly. You limp away with your pride, more bruised than your body. But you've learned valuable lessons about timing, leverage, and the importance of having a backup cave in mind. 3 years old, and you've finally claimed a decent set of caves in the mid-levels of an ice shelf. Not prime real estate, but it's yours. You've got a main chamber for sleeping, side tunnels for food storage, and even a nice echo chamber where you can practice your intimidation roars without bothering the neighbors. Well, bothering them more than usual. Hunting's become routine now. You've perfected the ambush technique, learned to use blizzards as cover, and discovered that partially buried prey stays fresh longer in the storage caves. You're living your best solitary predator life, which on Hoth means you're slightly less miserable than everything else. Then comes mating season. Oh boy, suddenly every female Wampa's roar sounds like a symphony, and you're trudging through blizzards leaving scent marks like some lovesick bantha. Competition's fierce because there aren't exactly a lot of eligible Wampas wandering around this ice cube. You find yourself in roaring contests that last hours, comparing fang size and trying to impress potential mates with the size of your tauntaun collection. Romance on Hoth is exactly as elegant as it sounds. After several failed attempts that leave you with new scars and serious questions about your approach, you finally find a mate who tolerates your presence long enough to ensure the next generation of snow monsters. The actual mating process is brief, awkward, and involves a lot more growling than seems necessary. Then she's gone, back to her own territory, leaving you to wonder if that counts as a successful relationship by Wampa standards. Years pass in a blur of hunting, territory defense, and trying not to freeze solid during the worst storms. You've become a proper apex predator now, 8 feet of muscle and fury wrapped in fur that could carpet a small spaceship. Your roar echoes across the frozen wastes, sending herds scattering. Life's good, or at least as good as it gets on a planet that makes hibernation look like a vacation package. But time catches everyone, even snow monsters. Your reflexes start slowing around year 15. That lightning-fast strike that used to guarantee dinner? Now it's more like firmly fast drizzle. Younger Wampas start eyeing your territory with that hungry look you remember having. Your fur's going gray in patches, though on a white Wampa that's admittedly hard to notice. The real wake-up call comes during a routine hunt. You burst from your hiding spot, arms wide, roar at maximum volume, and the tauntaun just sidesteps. Doesn't even look particularly worried, just mildly inconvenienced. You stand there for a moment, processing this new reality where prey animals treat you like a minor traffic delay. Your old bones ache in the cold now, which is saying something when you evolved specifically for this frozen nightmare. Getting up in the morning takes longer, hunting success rates drop, and you find yourself living more on stored reserves than fresh kills. The younger Wampas don't even bother with formal challenges anymore. They just move into your outer caves and wait for you to do something about it. 20 years on this ice ball and you're relegated to the deepest, darkest caves where even the echo sounds tired. Your magnificent roars become more of a wheeze. Your once pristine furs matted and patchy. You spend most days conserving energy, dreaming of successful hunts in territories that stretched for miles. Then one day, you're lounging in your cave, honestly just trying to remember what warmth feels like, when you hear something different, not tauntauns, not other Wampas, something mechanical. Your old predator instincts flicker to life as this strange creature stumbles right into your lair. It's bipedal, wrapped in weird orange fabric, and smells like metal and fear. Easy prey, even for an old-timer. You manage one good swipe, knock it unconscious, and drag it back to your cave. Hanging it upside down in your meat locker, you feel like you've still got it. Sure, it took more effort than it should have, but dinner's dinner. You settle in for a quick nap before the feast, feeling pretty good about yourself. You wake up to find your dinner's escaped, your arms on the floor, and there's a lightsaber-sized hole where your pride used to be. The last thing you see is the cave ceiling coming down, and your final thought? Should have just stuck to tauntauns.